For the first time in 150 years, the chair of St. Peter, one of the Vatican's most sacred treasures, has been removed from Gian Lorenzo Bernini's monumental reliquary for public veneration. This historic wooden trunk, known as the Cathedral Santi Petri, holds immense spiritual and historical significance, symbolizing the authority and mission of the Papal See. The origins of this wooden trunk trace back to the 9th century. According to tradition, it was a gift to Pope John VIII in 875 from Charles the Bald when he traveled to Rome to be crowned Emperor of the Romans. Scholars have studied the chair extensively over the years, revealing that its oldest component dates as far back as the 6th century. Revered for centuries, it is known as the Cathedral Santi Petri. To help us understand the meaning behind this expression, we spoke with Father Dominic, who serves as the Dean of the Faculty of Theology at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas, the Angelicum in Rome. The cathedral is the place where the Pope sits, and our faith tells us that St. Peter will sit on the very same spot. Remember that the Pope is also the successor of Christ. Therefore, we want to see in this cathedral first and foremost our spiritual point of reverence. Father Dominic continued, "This is the place from which the Pope teaches, and in his words, in the perspective of searching for hope and leading us out to full freedom. We want to hear once again the words of Christ himself, but also the teaching of the Church that speaks to us through the ministry of Peter, the ministry of the Pope." Each year on February 22nd, we celebrate the feast of the Cathedral Santi Petri, the chair of Peter. This wooden trunk holds deep spiritual significance, representing a special sign of God's love, a symbol of his desire to gather the entire church and guide us all along the path to salvation. The wooden seat of St. Peter is far more just a chair. It is one of the most precious relics treasured by the Vatican and the Church. Professor Francesco Bolanelli, President of the Commission for the Protection of the Monuments of the Holy See, clarified, "It is a relic because it gains its value from the faith that people invest in it." Undoubtedly, even if the tradition does not trace it back to the very origins of the papacy, it has been documented and present in the Vatican since at least the 9th century. It has been the cathedral of many supreme pontiffs, and as such, it possesses its own sanctity. Nevertheless, the chair of St. Peter is much more than a relic itself. It is a symbol, a bridge that brings us to Christ. Father Dominic furthered our understanding, saying, "We never celebrate relics as such. Every relic relates us to Christ. Just as we have relics of martyrs or saints, they relate us to an identification with Christ, to a perfect identification with him. We don't celebrate relics but venerate them, like in the case of the relics of the martyrs whose lives were completely conformed to Christ. The relic of the wooden trunk of St. Peter, a piece of history of an inestimable value, is enclosed in a famous sculpted gilt bronze casing, an iconic work of art designed by Gian Lorenzo Bernini.